Hey everybody, it's me Andrew. Get out into nature and tune in for yourself. Resonate with the Earth's electromagnetic field via 432 Hertz, the universal frequency. Balance out psychologically and emotionally, and further strengthen your brain and your heart's coherence as well. Get a plant-based diet going for yourself today and nurture yourself right back into life. We are literally herbivores in nature. Further balance out your physical body's pH level and get with alkalinity. Then you can generate some static electricity. Send me some love telepathically. Set attention to your mind and set intention to communicate. That is all there is to telepathy. You are now tuning in to great days. Now today I'm going to talk on the flow of life. I'm going to talk on the peaks and the troughs, possibly even corresponding to the sine and cosine waves. I'm going to talk on the electromagnetic spectrum a little bit. I'm going to talk on the DNA, and I'm going to also talk on the overall flow of life, how to get into it, and how to actually allow your life to be as it is, and how it leads to happiness. So today's video is the flow of life. So when I say, or when I talk of, or when I speak on the flow of life, I'm literally referring to the universal flow of things. Think of a river, there is a river and it leads to the ocean. It's called a delta, right? There's a delta. We are usually like salmon within a river, or a fish that literally is within a river, and usually there is a majority of the fish that just swim with the river, swim along the river, but there is always going to be some specific or individual fish that go against the flow of the river, okay? And the whole joke of going against the flow of the river is that the river is in complete control of the fish's movement. In other words, when you try and go against the river, when you try and go against the flow of life, when you are not with the flow of life, you are only going to be giving excessive energy. You're only going to be going against the natural flow of things, and you are going to be spending excessive energy for things that don't really bring success to you. Think about it like this. These salmon are literally in this river, right? And this river is leading to the ocean, which is literally going to open up a whole nother universe for these fish. But as of now, these fish are in the river, right? And there's a majority of the fish going and swimming with the river, and that only makes it easier for them to get to where they're going, because there's a natural flow or momentum of the river, and those fish who decide to go swim against the river's natural flow are not really getting anywhere with it, because there is the flow of the river going forward, and then there is the fish going against that current, and basically they are still getting dragged in the same way that the river is flowing, because the river is literally the larger process, and these fish are just going against the natural flow of the river, and they're still being dragged by the river. So you see how their effort to go against the river is literally futile. It isn't doing anything but making them spend excessive energy, because they're spending all of this effort. They're being very they're spending a lot of effort trying to go against the flow of the river, but the river is literally just pulling them in the way that the river is going either way. So eventually, after swimming against the flow of the river for long enough, these fish are literally physically going to get drained, and then once they stop spending effort to swim in the wrong way, they are literally going to let go, and that let go is what allows them to come into the free flow state of the river. Meaning, once they stop spending the effort to go against the river, once they let go, their body is literally just carried by the flow of the river, and that is literally what the flow of life is all about. Once they stop spending effort to go against the river, and once they just let go and allow the river to carry their bodies for them, they don't have to spend any more energy, because the universe or their home or their environment or the flow of life in totality is doing it for them at that point. And that let go and that process of going against the river was literally just making way for the realization of such a phenomena, which is literally effortless effort, Wu-Wei in Taoism. And Taoism is literally all about the universal flow. It is all about the yin and the yang, the two fundamental energies of life, the masculine and the feminine. They are literally inseparable, and they literally simultaneously came up together, and they literally make up the whole of life. Okay, so yin and yang, masculine and feminine, the black and the white, they literally constitute a vibration, a peak and a trough, and they also are corresponding to the sine and cosine waves as well, which is literally a light wave. Okay, and then light is what the electromagnetic spectrum is, or the electromagnetic field. The electromagnetic field is literally just light, or the electromagnetic spectrum is literally just visible light. We, as of now, in our state of being or existence, only are able to perceive literally less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum, and that is visible light. So with our five senses, as of now, we are only able to tune in and pick up less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum. So everything we will ever experience within life is only less than 1% of what there is in totality. If we are able to see at least 5% of the electromagnetic spectrum, our entire experience of life would be completely different. It would be like we were able to see in infrared vision, kind of like an alien, from Alien versus Predator, without having to use technology to do it. We would just be able to do it. This is how all of these species on the planet are able to sensually experience everything differently, because there is such a wide electromagnetic spectrum, which is visible light, and everything uses light to perceive and experience, and everything has its own percentage of sensual experience within the electromagnetic spectrum witnessed. So this is why everything experiences and sensually perceives life in a different way. We see life in a different way from a cat or a dog, because the dogs and the cats literally have a whole different percentage of the electromagnetic spectrum opened up, and this allows them to experience and perceive differently from what we can experience or perceive. Okay, so the electromagnetic spectrum or the electromagnetic field is literally just visible light, and light is also consciousness. So it is literally just consciousness, and what we are able to be aware of is basically corresponding to the electromagnetic spectrum. Now, basically, the flow of life fits in with this, because once you start getting in tune with the flow of life, once you stop worrying and just allow your happiness to surge or blossom, it actually allows you to start turning on more of the DNA that is considered junk DNA. Now, just as the electromagnetic spectrum is only perceived less than 1% by us, our DNA is just the same. Our DNA is said to be only a few percent active. I think it's like 2% active, okay? And the rest of our DNA is called junk DNA. Now, the 2% of our DNA that is active and that is known is what is talked about throughout science and the world nowadays. But there is also like a 97% of our DNA that they just put off and call junk DNA. And this is the area or the percentage of our DNA that holds all of our supernatural abilities, holds all of our transcendental natures, it holds all of our vibrational characteristics or expression. It holds all of the transcendental areas of humanity. And the Anunnaki actually know that too. The Anunnaki are actually the beings who created humans, and they actually completely control the specific DNA activating processes that take place throughout the eons or the millennia, meaning over thousands of years, humanity will slowly start to turn on more of the inactive DNA, which is within that 97% or the junk DNA. And this is literally this literally takes place through millennia. Once again, thousands of years, they slowly turn on the rest of our DNA so that we come into a state of evolution that is more immortal in nature, because the more DNA that is active, the more immortal or godlike we become, which the Anunnaki are already at that point. They are already at that stage, and they can only create what they are. So basically what I mean by that is the Anunnaki created us, and we are literally just smaller reflections of them, because you can not provide something that isn't of you. It'd be like pouring from an empty cup. They can only pour or create what they are themselves. So meaning we are literally gods and goddesses, or we are literally just as the Anunnaki, but our DNA is very, very inactive. So we aren't able to really utilize some of the inactive DNA that will allow such supernatural and immortal and godlike expression, you know. And once you understand that the DNA is so inactive and the electromagnetic spectrum is so inactive, it then creates a sense of curiosity within you to then start activating these through whatever means you can without the Anunnaki's help. You know, they use organizations throughout the society nowadays over the course of thousands of years, and then eventually humanity comes to a state of godliness just as the Anunnaki are now, okay? But like I said, when you understand that there's so much inactive DNA and the electromagnetic spectrum cannot be perceived as much as you would like, it creates a curiosity within you, and then it literally opens up a type of drive to activate and open up the experiential process of the rest of the electromagnetic spectrum. And then it allows you to basically get in tune with the flow of life, and then the flow of life, or the higher intelligence, or the macrocosm, will literally start providing through synchronicity ways to activate either the DNA or experientially come into the rest of the electromagnetic spectrum. And it is one of the most life-changing synchronous processes that can take place in your life. You know, it's all the flow of life. You know, I was also going to talk about kind of letting go. You know, just like the fish lets go when going against the stream, just let go. Inevitably, life will make you let go either way, because if you're going against the stream and you're spending excessive energy to go against the stream, eventually you're going to get tired, you're going to drain yourself, and the flow of life, or the stream, or the river, will then, after you let go, carry you along effortlessly either way. It's called Wu-Wei in Taoism. And basically when that happens, which it will happen to everybody if you go against the stream, then you will realize that there is no reason to go against it, but to just allow the flow of life to take place. And then this will further have you come to start attracting what is made for you in life individually, and then it will benefit the collective in response, and that generates a sense of responsibility, and then that further makes way for life-changing processes to take over as well. So there's a lot to go over. I'm not going to make the video too long, but just remember that you will start attracting what is made for you in this life once you let go and you start trusting the flow of life, or the Dao. Okay, and this is getting into the law of attraction more often as well, which I will probably do a video on, or maybe multiple videos or a series on in the channel's future, because the law of attraction is literally it is literally alchemy. It is alchemical processes in a way, and basically I would love to do videos on this. So I'll get into the law of attraction later on in the channel's lifetime, but as of now, all you truly need to know about the law of attraction is that once you let go, once you start falling into the flow of life, what is made for you will be attracted by you inevitably. Okay, and that is just like the fish swimming against the stream, tiring itself out until it is carried along by the stream without any effort then. So I do thank you guys for watching, and I hope you did enjoy the video today on the flow of life. Subscribe over here to the left of me and help me reach 50 subs. Drop a like on the video to the right of me and support the channel once again. Generate some static electricity from the ethereal body, or the spatial body needs to be strengthened and realized for the collective rise in consciousness. I love you guys. Have a great day, and peace out.